happens, kwa zile documents or the tender document that Ngetich had, they had no bid bond, they had no performance security or performance contract, had no pricing. In fact, Ngetich is on record saying after they won the tender, alienda kunegotiate the price of the fertilizer na akawashukia share by 10 bob. A very warm welcome and thank you for joining us on 254 Political Checklist and Politrix Arena. My name is Eva Eve Njao and this is my message to the President, Mr. William Samoei Ruto, the President of Kenya and the father of this nation, which I believe is a title I gave you with the vote I cast in your favor and a whole 7.1 million others. We cast it in your favor because we believed in you. Please do not let us down. Do not let the farmers of this nation down. Do not allow a few people to sabotage the economy of this nation and the backbone of the economy, which is agriculture. Mr. President, how I wish you will allow those who are implicated in this saga to face the full force and the full wrath of the law. The supply of fake fertilizer started right at State House. Right, either it will depend. If the president acts for, I will say it started from his office. If he acts against those people and for the people of Kenya, then I will say it started right chini yake. Just below him, it is where this fake fertilizer was made. Let me work from behind. I listened to the committee that was probing Kill Chemicals director and Memes director Collins, and this is what I was able to gather. First, let me give a brief description of who Collins Ngetich is. Collins is a brother to Mary Keitany, the ex-wife of Mithika Linturi. You remember when Mithika Linturi had a scandal? Mary was the chief of staff at President William Ruto's office when he was the DP. Collins, being a brother to Mary, and he is the one, and currently Mary is the MP, swindled 530 million from Barons Limited, which happens to be a company owned by the Keitany's. Collins was the director there and his mother. Linturi had received a loan of 50 million, but he was able to forge signatures of the other two signatories of the company, and that is how he ended in a scandal. Mr. President, this one is directed to you. How did the parliament clear Mithika Linturi to become one of your cabinet secretaries with all these scandals? He is on record saying that you know the kind of work he does, nahatishwi, and he will go nowhere. These are not my own words, Mr. President. Well, Daddy, we can see a connection, some thin line in this whole thing. When Linturi was implicated previously of corruption, he had when Ngetich got the information that there is fake fertilizer that is circulating, one, he vindicated the driver. He said from the time the driver walitoka kwa distribution office to the time walifika kwa distributors wenye wako devolved, he says the time limit was so little that the driver could not have done any messy work ama kubatilisha the products. So Collins Ngetich vindicated the driver, and immediately he gave a call to Kimote, one of the procurement officers pale Kill. And when he got there, he goes to Kimote's office, and Kimote gives a call to his top managing directors who convene at his office. Ameenda tu, directors wamepigiwa simu, and now they are having a round table. And one of the directors, who is Divesh, confesses that he had altered the composition of the fertilizer, and haikuwa imefikisha ile kiwango ya nutritional content that it was supposed to have. Then the MD immediately starts writing an apology letter to Mims director, and I don't know how casual this is happening. Hata hakuna mtu alikuwa amemfrustrate or something. He just starts speaking up, this Divesh guy. And take note, this Divesh, he from if you listen to him talking, he's not so much conversant with the local language, both English and Kiswahili, so he needs someone close to him to interpret. Now wakati he's being probed by this committee, they don't even give him ample time. Wanamuuliza tu maswali mbio mbio, like someone whom they need to get implicatiwe into this thing. I don't know, I hope you understand. And now Kimote, who you are Kill, he asks them to go meet at the office of the president. Imagine, here there is a scandal. Na pia inform the head of NCPB, who is shocked. According to Mims director, he is shocked, and instead of them reporting to the Ministry of Agriculture, instead of them calling the PS or the CS, they all decide to go and meet at the office of the president. They all decide to go to State House. And it happens that at State House, the meeting is convened by the head of public service, Felix Koskei. Of what importance was this meeting to Felix? What was his role in this whole saga? And as they are holding the meeting, they are allocated a boardroom where they are going to meet the KEPS director, manager, the PS trade, and the one for agriculture. The PS, the head of public service, calls for NCPB director and also the PS industry. And as things are happening along the corridors, they find Senator Mandago along the corridors, and he is in the meeting. Mandago is in the waiting room with them to hold this board meeting. The same Mandago, he has been appointed to be part of the committee that is going to probe for this fake fertilizer. In whose interest did Mandago sit in that committee? If you followed that live session, you will realize that Mandago was for Mims director. Mandago was trying to advise the legal counsel for Mims director on what they are supposed to say or what they are not supposed to do, ama mahali amepata kuna kashida in their document. So, what was the role of Felix Koskei, head of public service, and what was the role of Mandago in this whole saga? Mr. President, if you mean well for Kenyans, let someone go home. Let somebody go home. Then in this meeting, the NCPB manager meets the director, Mims, and the managing director, Kill Chemicals, for the first time. And she confesses that Kill director, managing director Devesh, he started talking out of the blues. Ni kama alikuwa wazimu, ni kama alikuwa amekunywa kakitu, alianza kuconfess the way he changed the formulation of the fertilizer to strangers. And it so happens hata Felix Koskei doesn't know these two people. Wakati aliingia kwa meeting aliuliza, who are these two people? Imagine hata kama ni wewe umeenda uko na scandal, umepelekwa kwa watu wakubwa, hata before uulizwe unaanza tu kuropokwa, kuwapea story vile ulichange, vile ulifanya dubious activities, vile aliweka manyua. He started telling them aliongeza kamanyua kidogo he had brought from India. Kalikuwa na nini yako kamanyua? Of what interest was that kamanyua? Why was he changing the composition? All this while hajaambiwa ataitiwa polisi. Hakuna mahali he has been told he's going to be arrested, but ashaanza kuropokwa. Ashaanza kusema how he changed this formulation. What provoked him to this extent? Who tried setting this man up? Because it is true that he was set up. Rango asks KEB's director to bring a sample of her own, and he does not even give her a timeline. He does not give her like 7 days. In fact, and I'm soothed. Bring it at your own pleasure. What makes you think that these people are doing it for the interest of Kenyans? If you listened to that whole session, these people are just asking the chair, awapatie dissolve this thing, awapatie time waende nyumbani. Why? Because someone needs to swell their pockets. Someone needs to receive a bulk brown paper envelope, because they are buying time. Stop taking Kenyans for a ride. I said we are working back. On 8th of March 2024, Ngetich says that he received a consignment of 19,070 bags. The MD Kill says that he dispatched from the company 19,670 bags, of which Mims director Ngetich says that the company recalled 600 bags. Na shida ilikuwa kwa these 600 bags that he had not disclosed that they received. One, Ngetich does not have a debit note to show that walirudisha the bags because they were of substandard quality. He does not have a credit note that was issued by the company because the company did not issue any credit note. There are no records to show that there was the consignment was recalled for 600 bags, and there is no document that Ngetich tabled to this committee. If you have done a tender, or if you have participated in the tendering process, you know very well that if your tender document is not complete, akia nani, it's not going to pita. Hautapata hiyo tender hata kidogo. It happens kwa zile documents, or the tender document that Ngetich had, they had no bid bond, they had no performance security or performance contract ya kuonyesha they are capable of handling this. It had no pricing. In fact, Ngetich is on record saying ati after they won the tender, alienda kunegotiate the price of the fertilizer na akawashukia share by 10 shillings. And again, the quantities, they are not even telling. At one point, Ngetich says alikuwa amepewa tender ya 10 million. But the procuring company, which is NCPB, yao inasema it's 215 million. The discrepancy, he says, ni typo. Kutoka December mpaka around 10 days ago, ndio ameona hiyo typo. Yet, these are people who are receiving lump sum in payment. Also, you find that in their tendering document, which was submitted on 15th of December 2023, hakuwa na certification ya KEBS. He did not have it. The certification yenye iko kwa document yenye probing committee received, it was dated on 30th January 2024, and the contract was issued on 26th of January 2024. So hakuwa na hiyo certificate, alipewa contract bila certificate. Certificate ilitoka 4 days later and it was attached. Wewe mwenye ushaipeleka tender, because I believe Kenyans, we are not fools. It's not the first time we're facing these things. Ukipeleka tender document yako, ukisharusha kwa hiyo box, unaweza pewa hiyo document tena. It's not even possible. Stop taking Kenyans for a ride. Stop taking Kenyans for a ride. Again, we find Ngetich ashaacha kukua an IT expert. That is his qualification. Ashakuwa an expert in the chemical industry. He is advising from this probe. He says that he was advising NCPB ati kuna shortage, so chukueni hii fertilizer tubadilishe hii composition hapa. Ulitoa wapi that experience? Are you an expert in that industry? Didn't the tender document prepared by the procuring company give exactly what they needed for farmers? You know, there is also a document that was missing. I will prepare a video on that. And he says him, Ngetich, and his company waliona wasaidie serikali kwa sababu ingekuwa costly if they relied on this document to a tune of 200 million. Kwani umekuwa Red Cross? Kwani umekuwa Red Cross, baba? Stop taking Kenyans for a ride. And you wonder, his scandal yote imeaffect one community. Akuna. That reminds me, when Ruto alitolewa kukuwa minister wa agriculture, something had happened. I am advising Kenyans against this behavior. If you voted for any politician, like mimi, I have vowed, if I voted for any politician, vote yangu lazima itafanya kazi. Vote yangu ni lazima itafanya kazi. If we voted for you, Mr. President, lazima mtatufanyia kazi. Wacha watu wafungwe. We need justice. Again, we have seen NCPB, it had volunteered, or rather it has started to compensate farmers who got the fake fertilizer. Wanawa compensate as who? Wanatoa wapi pesa ya kucompensate watu na hakuna pesa ya madaktari? Wanatoa wapi pesa ya kucompensate farmers kwa sababu ya makosa ilifanywa na private companies, either kill chemicals or memes? someone is trying to cover up, and it is someone who has a high position in this government, and this is the highest level of impunity, and we are condemning it in the highest terms possible. Kindly keep tuned.